Namaste, beloved community. I am so glad that you are here. I am live from TOSA Blue Mountain, Ecuador, getting ready for this huge full moon coming up on Friday in the sign of Virgo. And sorry, we have had technical difficulties, and it looks like my guest was able to finally hop on. We have been struggling with this. So let me tell you really quick about the full moon on Friday. It is in the sign of Virgo. It's opposite Neptune and the sun in Pisces, which indicates a high degree of emotionality and reminds us of the importance of managing our empathy and sensitivity, the importance of paying attention to what do we need to release. It's spring. We are coming into spring. Sunday is the equinox. So it is a time of renew, a time of regeneration, a time of beginning again, a time of birth. It is a powerful time. Having that full moon in Virgo that opposes Neptune and the sun in the sign of Pisces, that really has us paying attention to the chaos that's happening around us, chaos in our life, clutter in our life. You know, that's why they call it spring cleaning. Right now is a perfect time to get rid of things that no longer serve you, that no longer support where you are going. Ask yourself the question every time you pick something up in your home, in your office, wherever you are, is this taking you closer to your dreams? Is this supporting the life that you want, or is it hindering you in some way? So really pay attention to all of that. It's a very emotional time as we are still in the sign of Pisces, which is emotional. It's water. We are going to be transferring into Aries, which is a fire sign, which ignites everyone and everything. So yeah, it's going to spur the differences happening in the world, which is why we have this incredible event coming up this weekend. So I want to bring on my guest because he's not only a dear friend, but he is an intelligent scientist, engineer, inventor. He is probably one of the smartest people I know, and he's got so much happening and going on. And one of the things that he invented is the Epoch Lasers. Yes, I'm talking about Jim Ohneck, CEO of Epoch Lasers, who will be here live on Friday for the event through the weekend. And he will be helping out at the clinic. He will be participating in the ceremonies that we're going to have all weekend, along with Kelly Martin, who's coming with him. And I'm so excited to have both of them here to reunite and to just help people, because that's what they do, and that's what his laser does so beautifully. So I'm going to bring on Jim.
Hey, hello there. We got it all to work.
Yes,
Awesome.
finally. Yes, sorry, people. It took a little bit. I don't know why it was not allowing him to come on. We had to do some technical maneuvering. Oh, hi, Helen. So glad you're here. And everyone, whenever you see this, it's the right time for you. So trust that. Trust that everything is happening in divine right timing right now. And even in the midst of any chaos that may be happening in your life, look for the lessons, look for the blessings, look for the areas that are illuminated with this full moon that you need to release, that you need to let go of, that you need to change, that you need to embrace, that you need to create more of, any of that. So, Jim, talk to us about your journey coming up, as well as the incredible laser that you so graciously have invented and shared with the world.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me on your show today. It's really appreciate it. And I am really looking forward to my journey, which begins very early tomorrow morning. My flight leaves at, I think, 6:15 a.m. in the morning. So it'll be a bit of a journey there, but well worth it for sure, because I get to spend time at Clinic Linda, which is
Mhm.
so near and dear to my heart, and to be able to treat the wonderful people. And
Mhm.
it's really interesting. So many miracles happen with the laser every day. And
Yes,
I just would want to share with you a couple that I have seen recently, actually my last trip down there. And
please.
one was a gentleman who had fallen off a roof 7 or so years ago. And he was in a wheelchair, unable to walk or stand. And we treated him with the laser, for quite a lengthy time. It was probably almost a 30-minute treatment, from the top of its neck on down his spine. And on the way out to his car, when he got out to the van to have people help him get in the van, he just was adamant that he wanted to stand up. And of course, everybody said, "Well, I'm sorry, you can't stand up. You're in a wheelchair." And he said, "No, I I can stand up." And he took his arms and he pushed on the wheelchair, and he stood up on his own accord without any help. Now
That
that
is
is
fantastic.
it doesn't mean he's going to run a marathon, but I noticed when I was able to do the treatments, when I was treating him, I watched his hands twitch and his legs twitch and his toes curl. And that was a reconnection of the neural pathways. And that was really quite exciting for me to see, because we were putting something up here and it was making his toes curl. And that told me that
Mhm.
there's some connectivity. So, being an engineer, I think of the body like just a big wiring harness. And so we actually made a connection, and from the brain and to his feet. And the repercussion of that was he could actually stand for the first time. And to somebody that's been in a wheelchair for that long, that doesn't sound like much to your eye. Okay, so he stood up, but to him, it was life changing. It was an amazing event. And they all came back into the offices in tears of joy. So what an awesome experience to be able to see that happen and occur. And
Absolutely.
yeah, at the same time, we had another patient that had MS, and he had his head was just tilted back like this, and he couldn't rotate his head. And I treated him, and then he went back into the waiting room with somebody else there he knew was going to get treatments. And he was there with his wife, and I happened to walk out of the exam room for a minute, and I started to walk by, and I noticed he was turning his head, talking to his wife. And I just it stopped me immediately, and I said, "Hey, you're turning your head." And it's such a natural habit to turn your head when you're talking that you don't think about it. And he wasn't thinking about it. His head just did it. And his wife and the doctor and myself and him, we all said, "Wait a minute, your head's not back like this. It's moved forward, and you're rotating it on your own and having a conversation." Another big moment of joy. And so I look at these things and I say, isn't this awesome that I get to come down to Ecuador and maybe experience more miracles, and that something that I
Yes.
took so long to develop has actually helped people in this regard. So it's really an incredible and an amazing story. And then lastly, we had this home device that's called the Infrahelios, and we had a woman that acquired one, and she had something called Raynaud's syndrome in her hands. I mean, her hands were super sensitive to touch. She couldn't type on the keyboard. And
Mm.
the first indication was she sent me an email. She said, "I just realized I'm typing this email to you. I'm typing it myself, and my fingers don't hurt." And this is somebody that couldn't pick up anything. So it
Wow.
really, these are quality of life issues, and this is the beauty of the laser, is it helps improve people's quality of life without having some pharmacy prescription or some doctor give you some pill that's addictive or narcotic. This is light applied with intention, helping people. And so this
Yes.
is what's going on behind the scenes. But I wanted to share today those three stories, because I've been at this a long time, and I've treated many people, as you can imagine, over 20 years. People, animals, dogs, horses. I've treated everything you can possibly imagine. Of course, myself to experiment on, and so it never ceases to amaze me, the little miracles that happen, and even the smallest things that we take for granted. I see improvements, and this creates this upward spiral in people's lives, and they start to feel better about themselves. And what they do is they gain their spirit back. It's not clouded. They actually gain their spirit back. They begin, I think, vibrating at a higher frequency, and they start to feel again, physically feel things again. And so, these are the types of things to share. And I'm sure as I do every trip, I'll come back with more stories about this, and more incredible things that happen, and more miracles.
Right. Yes. I love it. And I love the fact that you coming back here is the anniversary of the clinic opening. It was 1 year ago this weekend that the clinic opened. And it is one year ago that actually I had the privilege of meeting you and hearing about this amazing laser. And I love how it is improving people's quality of life, because like you said, when people are in pain, they don't want to exercise, they don't enjoy life, their quality of life is poor. They probably aren't as patient with their loved ones as they want to be. When you are in pain, your quality of life, that consumes your focus, right? Versus when you're free of that pain, then you have more freedom to be healthier, to move your body, because it doesn't hurt. You're more patient with yourself and others, and it has that ripple effect on your life. And yeah, it's such a beautiful gift that you've brought forward. And I'm wondering if you wouldn't mind, because I get this question asked all the time. What is the difference between your laser and other infrared lasers out there?
So it's a very, very good question. I get asked that question all the time as well. Like just yesterday, somebody said, "Why can't I just go to an infrared spa?" All right,
Right.
it makes sense. It's infrared energy, and so what I would say is there's a specific frequency of light in our devices. It's 980. You've heard people call it the 980 frequency, the 980 nanometer wavelength. And a little bit of history about this wavelength: it was prevalent in the atmosphere, in biblical times, but not in the modern day industrial atmosphere. It's blocked out at about 30,000 feet. So that wavelength of infrared energy doesn't really come through the atmosphere to the body. But it takes a certain amount of this specific wavelength to create a cellular reaction that helps the body heal. And this has been proven through science, through looking at different wavelengths and different power levels of laser, and seeing what activates the cells. And the 980 nanometer wavelength really activates the cells to produce something called adenosine triphosphate. It's an ATP. It's a building block of your body. When you breathe in oxygen, and you drink water and food, you produce energy, and that produces the cells, or induces the cells to produce this ATP, which helps the body heal. So I'll get back to the main question, but I had to give the detail beyond it. So the 980, being very specific, all of that optical energy, as we call it, goes into the body at this one wavelength that activates cells. An infrared sauna, as an example, has many wavelengths. It may or it may not even have the 980 in it. So while it's creating a warming effect, and you might temporarily feel better, it's not really creating a healing effect. So that's one difference between infrared sauna and the laser. Now, if you say, well, what
The
about
laser.
other lasers? If you look at other
Yeah.
lasers,
It's amazing what the laser can do, and how I know it can go into the cells and really simulate that healing ability and all.
Yeah, so the 980 also is invisible, or
Mm.
is agnostic to any kind of skin color. So it penetrates an African American person the same way it penetrates a Caucasian person, an Asian person. It works the same way. But you go a few nanometers off that, you go to 800
Wonderful.
nanometers, and that doesn't work the same on every human. And so that is a big difference. So the it's really the single frequency of this laser that penetrates all types of different populations. It's why it works in Ecuador on the Cañari. It's why it works in the inner city here in the United States. It works on all different types of bodies and skin colors, and that was an intentional design element of the device.
Hmm. Yes, which is wonderful. I know I've witnessed it because I have one, and I've used it on people, and I've witnessed the amazing healing ability, and how it can break up scar tissue, and how it just helps speed recovery. Like if you've had surgery, or it might even help you not to have surgery, right? But if you do have surgery, it can help speed recovery from that because of stimulating the ATP, which stimulates the healing, speeds it up, and reduces that pain and inflammation.
Yeah, it definitely can help speed up healing. It's very good
Which again is what
used
we want.
after surgery.
We
Right, it's
want to
good to be
reduce
used
pain and
after
inflammation. We
surgery.
want to increase
Yes.
positive quality of life. Thanks for joining in. I think Jim is a little frozen at the moment, so I'll pop back in. So the laser is amazing, and he's in Ohio, and there are several practitioners that have been trained to use this laser, and he has them listed on his website, which is epoclasers.com. That's EPOC lasers.com. It's going to be incredible. The
Am I still frozen?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, yeah, chronic pain is no joke, for sure. And it can be very debilitating to people's lives. And so being able to have a tool that helps with that is phenomenal. And I know I'm very grateful for Jim's brain and his intelligence and knowledge and inventing all of this. And yeah, it's all good.
I'm no longer frozen.
No,
Okay.
you're not frozen.
All right, that's good to know.
Yes. No, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for this invention. It is doing incredible things, and I've witnessed it, and I know it's only going to do so many more as we get more and more of these clinics open around the world. We are working on it, and that's part of what this big event is about this weekend, bringing together unifying voices from around the world for humanity. It's also a fundraiser for the clinic. So if you haven't signed up, go sign up. Go to unifyingvoices.world, go to shrinkira.com, check it out, get signed up, be there live, join us via Zoom. We're going to be streaming all the incredible events that are happening from around the weekend. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be phenomenal. And like I said, it is a fundraiser for the clinics, which is doing amazing things, as Jim just shared. Miracles are happening because of these lasers. And it's really important that we're able to continue serving people, not only here in Ecuador, but we want to bring this around the world. Jim, I don't think you're frozen anymore again.
Great. Well, I just wanted to do some quick math that if there's 1,800 clinics around the world, that you're now able to treat millions of people within those clinics.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is an awesome thing to consider. If you're treating millions of people and eliminating their pain, their chronic pain,
Yes.
that this is a very amazing mission. I was talking to a group of college students yesterday, and they asked what I liked about what I do, and I said very specifically that I get to take a device that I put a lot of myself into, a lot of invention, a lot of thought into, and I get to take it around and help heal people, and that is the most gratifying kind of work you can possibly think of doing. It's just an amazing thing to be able to do and be involved in. So I hope to get around to as many of these clinics as I can. And
Absolutely. You'll be involved as well.
yeah.
Absolutely. And we've got to streamline the training and all of that kind of stuff, because you do have to be trained, just so you know. You do have to be trained and certified on this specific laser. That is the rules, the law on being able to be a practitioner of it. And it's mainly for safety, and because you can harm somebody by pointing a laser at their eyes without having protection. And also just understanding even how to move the wand and how fast or slow and where to place it and the area to cover. There's a lot of knowledge that you really need to have that Jim is so great at teaching. And so if you are interested, then reach out and talk about your desire to get certified on the laser. And then, if you are going to buy a laser or are interested in teaming with Avesa International to create a clinic where you are, you can send an email to Jess Jutunen, who is the president of Avesa International. You can contact me at dawnaforfitness@gmail.com. You can reach out to Jim. Any one of us will get you on that list. We have not started implementing outside of Ecuador yet. We have 2 going here in Ecuador, one in Cuenca and one here at TOSA Blue Mtn. And then they just made an agreement with the Canary to use a space up there, I believe 1 weekend a month. I think Sri and Kara will be announcing that probably over the weekend. And that will be phenomenal to get to travel up there and serve that community as well. But I know that we are going to travel to Mexico and Guatemala, as well as there's already a dozen people in the United States that want to team with us. And so, if that's something that calls to your heart, then please reach out and let us know. And yeah, it doesn't hurt to get trained, to get a better understanding of the laser and buy one. They're amazing. And I'm super excited about the vision that Sri and Kira have about the 1,800 lasers, because like Jim just said, imagine being able to help millions of people around the world reduce their chronic pain, reduce the pain from post-surgery, speed up that healing. Just there's so many uses that this laser has that it's hard to even list them all. And I know anytime I'm around Jim and watching him do treatments, I always learn something new, because he's always like, well, you can use it for this too. And it's like, wow, we used it on someone's face for psoriasis. You don't want to get near the eyes, but it helped with that, which is amazing. We used it on varicose veins on someone's legs, and it helped with that, which is amazing. I mean, there's so many things that this light can do, and it's not painful. It's warm. It feels comfortable. It, it doesn't hurt, and it heals. It helps to stimulate the body's own ability to heal.
Yes, that's exactly the case. It's helping your body to heal. It's not masking a symptom. And there's a big difference in that. And so it's not something that's instantaneous. You don't have a laser treatment and then go do a dance. Well, you might, but most people, it takes a few treatments. And that's because it's stimulating the body's own natural way to heal. And that means you really get healed as opposed to just covering up the pain and blocking the pain. It helps actually correct the deficiency. And as we saw or heard in the descriptions I said of the miracles at the beginning of the show here, that it's actually, you can see the physical effects as you're treating people. And so you know that it's having this interaction in the body. And so that's what's so exciting about it. As you mentioned, it helps people maybe begin to realize they have hope and they can exercise. But as a practitioner, it also is something to think about is, most of us in the Western world, when we go to the doctor, it's very impersonal. You go in and you get the doctor spends 2 minutes with you. There's 3 or 4 other people and somebody comes in and takes your weight, and somebody sits you down and takes a lot of notes, and then you're gone. And you say, did they even know what was wrong with me? Did they even do the proper, diagnosis? And as a laser practitioner, you have hands-on with the patient. You can actually have a conversation with the patient while they're being treated. And that in itself is healing, especially with people like Dawna that are so insightful with people. You make such a wonderful practitioner because you're really good at speaking with people and understanding where they're coming from, and that just makes the therapy all the more better. And so then you get the physical reaction from the laser, but you get the psychological reaction from the session itself and the discussion that goes back and forth.
Oh, well, thank you. I think so many times people feel like they don't matter, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to do a show is I want people to understand that they matter. I want them to feel seen and heard and valued, because everybody has value. Everybody has something to offer. Everybody's story is a blueprint for someone else to get through whatever they're dealing with in their life. So traumas that you went through in your life and how you overcame them are a blueprint for someone else that's struggling. And it's really important that we come together, and that's what this weekend is all about, is setting aside our differences, setting aside the egos, setting it aside and joining hands and realizing and recognizing that just because we're different doesn't mean one of us is wrong. We all have something to offer. We all have something to bring to the table. And I really want to pray for all the people in both Ukraine and Russia, that a peaceful resolution will come about. So if everybody would just join me for a moment, bring your hands to your heart, and let's just send out love and light to wrap around all the people in Ukraine and all the people in Russia, and pray that the powers that be that are making the decisions to harm each other, that they become enlightened, and that they put down their swords, so to speak, and come together and unify rather than separate and look at only the differences and only the things that are wrong, that they start to look at all the positive things that others have to offer, and stop trying to force another to do their will or their belief. You know, who says that my belief is the only way? It's not. Everybody's life is different. Everybody's perspective is different. Everybody's gone through a different experience. And we're here to do different for a reason. That's what makes the world so amazing, because we have amazing people like Jim that invented this laser, you know, and there's so many more. Everyone has something of value. Everyone has something to offer. So I just pray that the leaders' hearts will be touched, that their eyes will be opened, that they will put down their weapons and come together and find a peaceful resolution for all of humanity, not just their countries, but it impacts the whole world. Thank you. Amen. So it is. And make sure that you get signed up, because we need you here this weekend. unifyingvoices.world, or go to streamkara.com. You will see Jim this weekend at some point on video. You will see me. You will see incredible things happening, ceremonies happening. The Canary are going to kick off a fun dance party Friday night after the opening ceremonies. We are going to have the mayor from the local town is going to be here and address. We're going to have other politicians here from Ecuador. We're going to have amazing, talented musicians, dancers, speakers, lineage holders, elders, leaders from different tribes. We've got the high priestess from Bali that's going to do a water blessing ceremony. It's going to be an incredible, amazing event, bringing together so many different people from so many different backgrounds, because together we are better. And we need you. We need your energy to be there. We need your love to be putting out into the world together with us. Love is more powerful than anything. And you know, you can't feel hatred when you're feeling joy. You can't feel anger when you are feeling love. You can't feel disappointment when you are feeling happy. It's impossible to have those two emotions at the same time, which is why it's so important to focus on the love, because the love is more important. It's at that 500 or above vibration, that frequency. And being at that point, anger and hate and all of that are way down in like the teens and 20s versus 500, which is love. So Jim, tell us why you are excited to come and how last year was for you.
Well, I'll start with last year. So last year was an incredible experience. Nothing like it in my life. I think spending the night on the top of the mountain in the fire ring circle was very life changing and eye opening. I think, as Jerry said to me, I'd forget all about science if I went up the mountain for that ceremony, and she was exactly correct. So, but it was
Yes.
really an eye opener and an amazing ceremony. The Kenyari are just such beautiful people and such open people in terms of their discussion and you know, how they deal with each other, and so really wonderful. And you know, this year I think I'll see many of the friends that I made from last year's trip. I'll get to see people again. I'll get to go up and at least up to the top of the mountain on a few more hikes, and sit on the rock up there is always an amazing thing to do. You're really right next to the sky, kind of like Montana, but better,
Yes.
right? So you're really close to the
Right.
sky. You're up on the mountains, and the air is fresh. The surroundings are incredibly beautiful. It doesn't matter if it rains or it shines, if it's warm or it's cold. You're always warm inside because you're surrounded by love, as you pointed out. You're surrounded by incredible people who are all motivated to
Mhm.
help humanity, and they're there for the reason. And so I'm excited to be in that group of people, and dealing in my day job here on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes you're with people that aren't of the highest frequency, and it's easy to be pulled down. And
Mhm.
so truly,
Mhm.
when you go to TOSA, you're pulled up, and everybody lifts you up while you're there. And this is one of the exciting things for me. And of course, to be able to spend time in the clinic and actually treat people and see. I want to see the results. Some of the people that have been treated last year, I want to see if they're even still coming or need to come. I want to hear the stories and see how they're doing. So this is the other reason it's just so joyful for me to go into the clinic and spend time and actually do treatments there and know that it's doing well. So these are some of the reasons why. But I think being surrounded by people that surround you with love and caring is really where else can you go? You can't go on vacation and get that. You can go on vacation and get get yelled at, and people bump into you and be treated rudely. But you can go to TOSA, and it's just a fantastic experience.
Yes, for sure. And I agree with everything Yvonne and Helen and Elizabeth are posting. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate it. Yes, completely. Love is the key. It really is. And choosing a higher frequency and benefiting all. Because yes, together we can do this. And I am so excited. We actually, Jim, have a couple of patients from the clinic that are going to come and speak about the miracles that have happened from getting treatments here at Clinica Linda. So that will be powerful. You want to make sure you're tuned in Friday night to see them. And I'm sure that you'll recognize them, Jim. And it is so heartwarming. It just makes me so happy and I feel so good, which is why I have aligned with this whole massive vision and project that Sri and Kira have put forward because of the incredible healing abilities that the laser has and how it is helping people. And it helps to raise the vibration, right? With this high frequency light. You're helping give people, like Jim said at the beginning, you're giving people better quality of life, and they can't help but raise their frequency when they better, right?
That is absolutely correct. When you feel better and you're not clouded by pain. You made a really interesting comment earlier on in the show, which was people in pain, sometimes it's exhibited by their frustration, their quick temperament, they're getting annoyed with a loved one, and they don't realize that it's because of their underlying pain. And so
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you're not just changing one life. When you pull people out of this, problem with their chronic pain issues and help them feel better, they do treat people around them, and you're actually better, and you're actually helping other people's lives that are associated here. And so I think this is something that you astutely brought up today, is that you're surely changing the patient's life, but you can actually help change the lives of the people around them as well, as they see the improvement, as they see the smile return, as they see the desire to go out for a walk together. How many people don't go out for a walk with their spouse because they're uncomfortable and it hurts to go
Right,
walk? And
right.
maybe that's something a couple did early on in their relationship, and that was something that bound them together. And suddenly, one or the other says, "I don't want to go. My knee hurts. I don't want to go because my back hurts. I can't
Mm-hmm.
walk it doesn't feel good when I do it. And then to change that and say, I do want to go to walk. I want to walk with you today, dear, because I feel better. My back is better, and the sun is shining. And then they go get fresh air, and they're like, wow, now I even feel much, much better. So this
Right.
is the effect of the person and those around, I think, is something to think
Hmm.
about that I don't typically think about as an engineer, but it's a very good, insightful thought.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I grew up with a father that was in bed in pain for most of the 36 years of my life that he lived. He died when I was 36, and he had countless surgeries. He had all sorts of issues, conditions with his body. He was in an accident, and he had like I said, a lot of different surgeries on his back and his hip, and he had heart disease and heart attacks. And I watched him in pain, and that was the quality of his life. And it, frankly, it sucked. You know, I felt helpless as a child. What could I do to help my dad? And I watched him be on and off pain pills and on and off all these different prescriptions. And that's probably some of my aversion a little bit to prescription drugs, because they never healed him. They never, they may have deadened the pain slightly, but they never took it away, and they never fixed the problem. And so I love this laser because it fixes the problem. It turns on the body's own ability to fix the problem, and it enables that. It encourages that. It stimulates that, and it supports that, and it helps that. And that is so phenomenal, because if my dad were alive today, I would absolutely be using it on him, because I know it would help. And that's the beauty of this. And I'm so excited for you to be here. I'm so in person. I'm so excited for you to see some of the progress of some of the patients that have been coming week after week after week to the clinic, and just to help celebrate the 1 year anniversary and celebrate humanity together. So make sure that you are signed up. Jim, we have just a couple minutes left. What are your parting thoughts for people?
Well, first of all, sign up. That would be one parting thought. We could use everybody's help, but even remotely, you're helping hold that presence and that energy. So I would encourage you to sign up. I encourage you to reach out to us if you're interested in becoming more involved and learning and becoming educated in the laser.
Yes.
Again, to Jess or to Dawna or to myself, and love you all, and just appreciate Dawna, you letting me speak today. That's awesome that I was able to join the show. And for those of you that are traveling to TOSA that I haven't met, I look forward to meeting you all, of course. And you're always welcome to reach out and ask questions as well. And you'll always get a very detailed explanation.
It's such an honor to have you on, Jim. I enjoy it every time visiting with you, and I feel like we could talk for hours and hours and hours about all of this and all the amazing things that happen. So thank you so much. I can't wait to see you when you get in. I'll see you Friday morning sometime after you rest a little bit.
Yes.
And thank you, community. Sending you all so much love and light. Please hold Russia and Ukraine in your prayers. Let's send them love. Join us live Friday night and through the weekend. We will see you there, and I will see you next week live right back here from TOSA Blue Mountain. Much love and light to you all. Thank you.